I think I'm very much committed to releasing things that are not me.
Mm.
People pleasing, like just basic things. Um, and so I'm like full speed ahead and releasing anything that is not gonna bring me the most joy, basically.
Welcome to the Dream Show, where each episode I sit down with someone just like you
I'm in a current phase of pushing myself to do things.
to decode the meaning behind your dreams and explore their connection with trauma, healing, and the subconscious mind.
I do like to watch and see where the dream takes me.
My name is Jesse Lyon, your host, a licensed counselor, certified trauma hypnotherapist, and a dream interpreter. So whether it's a nightmare,
I don't know why, but I knew that he was talking about me. And he comes storming up to the door. And I remember him shouting, "Where is my son?"
a bizarre scene, or something too weird to even describe,
It was so traumatic for me, literally, I have blocked all but this memory.
we dive in and learn to listen to the messages that your mind is trying to tell you. Let's jump into it. Welcome back to the Dream Show, episode 2, here today with a follower of the channel, Celia. And I'm so excited that you're here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, Celia, how did you find me, first of all? Like, what a weird side of the internet and social media to be on, like dream interpretation. What gets you interested in this topic or subject, or how did you find me?
Well, I'm super into dreams. I also work in dream work, and I just found you on a TikTok live, and I was watching you, and I was like, "You're fantastic." So,
Oh, thanks.
and you just happened to mention this opportunity when I popped on there. So
So you're like, heck yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So what kind of dream work do you do? That's fantastic.
so I had an owl come to me in my dream a few years ago
Okay.
and show me to help clients work with intention with dreaming. So like setting the intention to have a specific dream. And so ever since then I do events in private coaching. So
Nice. Cool. We'll have to put some links to like your stuff down in the show notes below.
yeah, that would be amazing. It's
Yeah.
consciousdreamacademy.com.
Conscious Dream. Yeah, I saw the custom email that you emailed me from. I was like, oh, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. That's great. That's great. Well, okay. All right. So a little bit about you, Celia. Can you tell me, like, how old you are, what part of the country that you live in? I guess we got a little bit to your work, but maybe just like your work experience, stuff like that.
Cool. So I am 38 years old and I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm from the Midwest, however.
Okay.
And oh, I'm a nurse also.
Oh,
But
nice.
my passion is dream work, but I am also a nurse.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I'm also a counselor. Something's got to pay the bills, right? So.
Yeah.
I get it. And people ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, you have so many followers on social media." They're like, "How much money do you make off of TikTok?" I'm like, $50 in a month. It's like, it's nothing. I was like, yeah, it's not enough to even buy groceries these days. I mean, even a carton of eggs in some places. My God. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
Well,
for.
so
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I got in a car accident in 2021, and that's when my dreams really started opening up, and then I really pay attention and like lead my life with that dream guidance. But it's so exciting to have another person that's really tuned into the dreams to give feedback. Like I'm all the way excited.
That's great. And I think a lot of people don't realize, like I tell my dreams to other people too, because when it's my own brain, I don't know what it means. Like it's so personal and so like inside my own head, I can't see past my own thoughts and my own experiences to like really get the information from it. So I'll tell my wife my dreams all the time. I'll tell my counseling buddies my dreams all the time, just to like start saying it out loud so I can be like, oh, no, okay, you're right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So even as a professional, the process of sharing dreams is so important. There's actually research on this. The way that they researched a group of people and they had some of them share their dreams with another person. And they were able to document through the research that when you share dreams back and forth with each other, it increases the amount of empathy between those two people. And so the theory was proposed by this research study is human beings have evolved this capacity for dreaming, not only for personal processing, but to increase the relationship and like the cohesion in groups. Like, you know, you think about tribes and how they have to like watch each other's back and stuff. And so sharing your dreams with each other increases this empathy, increases this care in the community. And so I really do believe in this stuff. So important to share them. Nice, nice. All right, well, Celia, let's jump into it. You've got a very fresh one. You said just last night, and there's like 3 parts to it, or 3 separate dreams in the same night.
Correct. My dreams tend to be like in a night, I'll wake up a few times with a piece of a dream, but they're, even when I think they're not connected, they're connected.
Yeah.
So do you want me to start sharing my dream?
Yeah, let's start with the first one. I think the number 3 is really important. I see that a lot with my clients in the dream work that I do as a counselor. The mind likes to repeat things in 3s. And
Yes.
you know, even as a hypnotherapist, I will use the number 3 a lot in my sessions, because once you repeat something 3 times, it's like the mind finally absorbs it. And so I see that in dreams. It's like, I had this dream, there's like 3 pieces to it. And even if it's one dream, there's almost like 3 sections to it, because it needs that number 3 to introduction, conflict, resolution. Or it's like, hey, look at it from this angle, look at it from this angle, look at it from this angle. And so I think it's no coincidence that you had 3 dreams, probably all connected to the same topic, but just showing you different aspects of it. And I have not read your dream yet. I made some notes, so I'll be referencing on my phone because you wrote it down for me. But we're going into this fresh, just like as if you were a client, walked off the street, and we're doing a very first intake session about your dreams. So take it away, Celia. What crazy things are your mind saying last night?
Okay, fantastic. So leading up to this, I was just like, no stress, you know, I'm gonna go on this guy's show. Cool, it's gonna be great. What dream am I going to use? I was like, I'm not even going to worry about it. Whatever dream comes the night before, that's what I'm going to do. And then last night I had a little anxiety because I woke up a couple times and I didn't remember my dreams. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have anything to say.
Well, pre-show jitters. You got it. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah, it did come through. It always comes through, but it just, you know. Okay, so I wake up about 2 a.m. I'm at a house. Okay. My ex, whose name is Jesse, is completely naked. Huh. It's extremely vivid. He walks into the room, extremely vivid, all the way vivid. And I'm like, dude, there's little kids here. You got to put clothes on. So he pulls a blanket over his waist.
Okay.
He says, well, that's kind of why I was hiding in the office. Then a dog runs in the room and it looks like my dog, Frankie, but it's not him. He's bigger. So by the way, in my dreams, my dog, Frankie, is the one I got after my like spiritual awakening. So when that dog shows up, it's showing like the me that's like growing into, you know, my business and like this, higher vibrational person.
Yeah, I was going to say that makes sense, because in the dream, your mind took liberty to make Frankie bigger than he typically is. So it's like, okay, this symbol is larger than life in this space that you're trying to process. So that tracks. I agree.
You're on. Yeah, you're good. Okay, this is good.
Yeah, we on.
By the way, I woke up. Before I wrote this dream down this morning, I was pissed. I was like, why is my ex Jesse showing up in my dream? I've already dealt with him. Like, this should not be showing up. And then I write down the next part of the dream. And it's like Jesse Lyon's podcast. There's a doctor lady that's going to be speaking on there. And then I'm like, oh my God, they have the same name. Okay. So it's not about my ex.
No. Hey, listen, I take no responsibility for other Jessies. We may share a name, but there's certainly a reason that he's your ex. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Exes will do that to us, won't they?
Yes, it's a gift of torture. Anyways, I've like dealt with that. Like, he used to show up in my dreams, but not anymore. So this time, you know, my whomever's running the show is like, you can handle him as a symbol. It's not going to trigger you. I'm like, well, it still kind of triggered me.
Yeah. I'm so interested in that, because I get asked that question about exes showing up in dreams all the time. You said you dealt with it. Like, what worked for you to get that ex out of your dream? Because I get that question all the time. I give people advice, but I think it would be awesome if you're comfortable sharing your own personal story of what helped release that emotional pressure for you about that ex relationship.
It was a lot of work for a lot of
Yeah.
attachments I had from the past. It's a journey, and so if it's showing up, it's like there is something to be healed. There's some little piece to be healed still. And for me, it was just the journey of coming home to myself and finding self-worth at like such a deeper level that I didn't even recognize, don't even recognize yourself. So it's the self-love journey. Is literally pour yourself into whatever you can do to come home to yourself, where you're not, you're actually able to like not need any of these external attachments because you are full, like your cup is full. But you're processing trauma of your whole life. Like it's a process.
Yeah.
But it's possible. It's possible.
Thank you for the message of hope. Yeah, I always tell people, I'm like, listen, it's about baggage and it's about yourself. Like it very rarely is about them. I was like, honestly, the best thing you can do is go to counseling. Like talk it through with a good friend, talk it through with a professional. And like the more that you heal from that stuff, your brain won't need to dream about them anymore because it's all been processed. If your brain is bringing up your ex inside of your dream, I find that it usually means there's something left unprocessed about that experience that your mind's like, hey, over here, this one, we haven't fixed this yet. It's like, oh, okay.
100% of the time, it's not a message to reach out to them. 100%
100%
of the time. And I've tested this.
Oh no, personal experience. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh my gosh. Okay, thanks for the sidebar. Okay, so you're like, oh wait a minute, it's about Jessie Lyon because I've got this recording tomorrow, and a doctor lady shows up. Okay.
Yeah, so the doctor lady's there. She's also going to be on your show.
Oh.
And then it switches to a different scene.
Okay, scene shift. Got it.
So I'm in some sort of like small vehicle, like I don't know what it is, really small. And I'm following another vehicle I don't know what these things are. It's not a golf cart. I don't know what it is.
Does it look like a go-kart or something?
Something just like that's able to drive, but it's not a car.
Okay. Dream logic.
Yeah. So I'm following them and we take a turn. And then I see these like big, like kind of one on the right, one on the left, these big like cloud like light. It's almost like they're like portals or something pretty mystical.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, that's a good sign. And then they do a U-turn. And then I do the U-turn and I'm like following them out. And so I say, I'm being careful not to hit any kids. Okay. Switching scenes.
Okay. Scene shift again.
Switching scenes again, because that's how the dreams work, right?
Yep.
So there's a dude, he's basically just floating in the air, and he has a bow and arrow, and it can see the arrows. Okay. And it's like, I just have the knowing that the arrows represent dreams. And so he is, whoever this is, like I feel like there's probably some cool name for like some mystical guy who is shooting the dreams at people. So it's like the arrows aren't hurting the people, but it's like he's sending dreams.
Huh.
So
it seems like a weird mix of Cupid and the Sandman.
It felt like, wait, what's the Sandman reference?
Well, like, they made a show about it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I think it's called the Sandman, right? Or something. Morpheus is the guy's name. He
sends people dreams?
But he sends people dreams. He's the god of dreams. Okay. And so, different from Greek mythology. Hypnos, god of sleep and dreams. But it seems like a weird combination between the two of them. Like, Cupid shoots the arrow to make people fall in love. But you kind of co-opted that metaphor into like the dream god. And so, okay, I'm following with you. That's cool.
That's definitely the vibe I got from him. And I was like, that's dope. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Should I carry on?
Is that the end of the first one?
It's the end of the first one. Yeah.
Okay, end of the first one. Let's do the first one first, and then we'll get to the second one second. That's
Let's
math.
do it.
Math. There's this repeating symbol of children in here. Do you have any children?
No.
No. Okay. Okay, so let me start here because I'm excited, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. When you woke up from this dream, or you're reflecting on at least this portion of the dream, do you have any like big emotions that stand out, or big pieces of the dream that stand out?
Okay, so when my ex comes out completely vividly naked and I'm like, these kids are gonna see you. I was concerned. I want to protect the children.
Yeah.
Which in my mind, I'm thinking that's like pieces of myself, like that I want to protect, like keep small.
I'm thinking inner child too. Yeah.
Inner child. That's the words.
That was my first thought, is like, no kids personally, but there's this level of protection
child, and so
for your inner child. Yeah.
So
okay.
So like wanting to hide the exposure, essentially. It wasn't, and then as far as following in that car, it was very like chill. Like I was just like, hey, I'm following, and then let me just do it cautiously.
So a repeating theme of caution. It's like, whoa, we got to protect the kids. Whoa, we got to drive safe. Do you find yourself being kind of a cautious person? Is that like congruent with how you experience yourself personally?
I've been on a journey of releasing fears, of being seen and being authentic, that all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've like released a lot of layers, but there's a few more as I like step into new opportunities. Like I get to face a little bit of that, I feel like.
Yeah, well, when you step into those new opportunities, there's more exposure. And so it's like, oh, okay. Well, and so, okay, well, let's get started in the specifics. What I think is interesting about the dream, there is this repeating theme of exposure and like being cautious. But also, like when you think about being naked in a dream, it's very typically a symbol of being exposed and vulnerable. It's like, we wear clothes because if I showed up on this YouTube channel without any clothes on, that would get shut down. You can't do that. And so there's this very great like cultural symbol of, well, I want to show up as myself, but I can't be too much myself because I might not be accepted. I might be rejected. I might be pushed out. I might be ridiculed, right? And so, I mean, very, very similar to your dream of like, whoa, like, yes, that's your authentic self, but there's a need to sort of be judicious or tactful about the way that we show up. And I think that can be hard for people because when I talk with people in counseling, what comes to my mind is like Sigmund Freud's psychosexual stages, right? When you think about a child, as they grow up, they go through these different phases of learning about themselves and how to behave as a person and how they grow up and mature. And one of the most pivotal, the one that Freud talked about a lot, and I think one of my personal favorites because it's a good symbol in dreams, is the anal phase, which is all about like learning to go potty, right? And so a child has to learn like, okay, I can't go potty in my diaper. I have to learn how to control my bowel movements to put them in the potty. And that can be really like vulnerable and scary for children. So you see people develop this like toilet training trauma because they have a traumatic experience with their parents, probably before they even remember, right? They can't really form memories because they're like 2.5, 3 when they have that stage. It can be difficult because it's such a vulnerable thing. Like something is leaving my body. Like I created this thing. Now, granted, it's poop, but like I created this thing. It's very vulnerable. It's very authentic to me. And so it's important for parents to be careful not to shame children if they have accidents during that phase, because they start to develop this belief about themselves that the things that I produce are bad. They're stinky. My parents don't like them. I made a mistake. I need to be ashamed. And so I'm seeing kind of this theme sort of in this dream of I want to be authentic and express myself, but I also want to do that in a way that is not just explosive, that is tactful, that is safe even for me, because those parts of ourselves are really sacred. I mean, I'm kind of co-opting a religious term, but I like the sort of metaphor there of not just everybody gets to see another person naked or like deal with those intimate parts of ourselves. They're very special, and so they need to be treated with respect by other people. Anyways, I'm getting philosophical here, but yes, I think so. I think there's this piece of I'm exposing myself, but I also want to protect my inner child as I expose myself, because you don't want to go too quick into exposing, right? Like even children, we have ratings on our movies, G, PG, PG-13, R, because we don't want to expose children to all the atrocities of the world. There needs to be this sensitivity to their development. And so like when I see even just this first sentence of the dream, it's like, okay, I'm getting it. For Celia, there's this, I want to expose, but I also want to be sensitive and protect my inner child, which needs me to protect her as I'm coming out of my shell. Does that, I mean, that's just what it would mean for me. Does that resonate with you? Is that tracking?
Yeah, it's spot on. It's like, but I like the way you put it. That was super helpful. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you think that your ex is in exposing a part of yourself, or was there some level of that relationship that you felt exposed and then manipulated by that exposure, and so the X is like a symbol of exposure manipulation? If that makes sense.
Well, there was a lot of manipulation, that's for sure.
Okay.
And I didn't really have boundaries with him, so I definitely exposed myself to a really terrible experience. I was not protecting my inner child.
So then the X in this opening scene of the dream is a perfect symbol, because it's saying, hey, we've had this mistake in the past. Let's not repeat it. Let's bring up that fear. We have to protect the children. That's almost like setting the premise for the rest of the dream then. Would you agree?
Yeah, I love how the dream symbols are like multi-meaning. It's like so creative.
Yeah, super layered. It's so cool how the subconscious mind is able to communicate on many layers simultaneously. Yeah. Okay. All right. So get a blanket. Like you're like, okay, great. So here's this exposure thing. Got to protect my inner child. Let's cover the serious parts. But then he says something, and he says, okay, that's kind of why I was hiding in the office, which to me symbolizes like, well, I hide my vulnerability by working a lot because it's in the office.
Well, so I feel like that's I feel like I don't work a lot. I have really good balance with work.
Okay.
But I do not really hide in my office, but like choosing to do things like come on your show.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm still in my office, but I'm stepping out of the office. So
okay. So for
it's
me,
like allowing myself to actually go out, and because I'm in a current phase of pushing myself to do things, like I'm hosting events, and I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, like very much. And I love it, and I feel like that's like in my nature, but I'm stepping into it.
Okay.
Yeah. So him like not wanting to, he's like, that's why I wasn't going to come out of the office, because that's that vulnerability to leave the comfort of sitting here doing like the things I normally do.
Okay. So I was sort of misinterpreting that symbol in the beginning, thinking your vulnerability was hiding in your work, but actually for you, it's a much brighter symbol of being in the office allows me a way and a means to express myself authentically, this like naked vulnerability that maybe you wouldn't have anywhere else. It's like by doing your work, you do get to express yourself.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
So then Frankie shows up. And you said you already know what Frankie is. I mean, typically dogs are like unconditional love and like connection and friendship. They're our best friends. They know every part of us. And Frankie's big. Is that what Frankie means for you?
Well, so I found out a few years ago that my dogs represent myself.
Okay.
And so I have a dog from like before my car accident, and my spiritual awakening, and that dog will represent my past, the past me. And so Frankie's representing the like growing, evolving, you know, dream work really type of version of me, I guess.
Okay. Wow. See, these are all good symbols. Okay. So then Frankie shows up,
Yay.
and then a doctor lady is there. I guess she's going to speak on the show as well. Did that feel? Was there emotion related to that? Like, did that feel competitive, or like were you trying to, like, not disrupt her? Was there a little bit of hiding, or what was that?
It was just observation. No type of feeling about it.
Okay, just observation. There's a doctor lady there. Well, doctors are usually about healing. I mean, that's pretty simple, but it's straightforward. So it's like, okay, so part of this show is also a healing process. I would imagine that symbol. Okay, and then it goes on. Scene shift.
It goes on.
Now you're driving. We've talked about driving a whole bunch on the channel. Driving is often our control over the direction of our life. And so, okay, here you are controlling the direction of your life. You're on life's path. You know, life is a highway. We get it. We get it. And you see these rainbows, but then you take a U-turn. Is there some... No, avoidance is the wrong word. But to me, like, this sort of scene sets up, like, I'm controlling my life, but I'm kind of following the examples of others. And perhaps there's this golden opportunity of portals and rainbows and like light coming from clouds. And because I'm not forging my own path as much as I would like to, I might be U-turning and missing those rainbows and opportunity that I might otherwise get to. That's what it says to me, but does that resonate with you?
Yeah, and I love the way you just said that, because that really inspires me to realize even more so I don't need to follow what others are doing. I can keep, like channeling my own creativity and like letting that be the path. And that really actually was very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it clued me in because the car's very small. So, dreams like to play on size. Frankie's very big. Yeah. This is a big part of yourself. Your feelings of control and independence in your life are a little bit small right now, but you're working on them because the car's very tiny.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so since it's like, I see these like portals of light, and then that's when that card does the U-turn. And so then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do the U-turn, but really like for expansion, like I should like be like, obviously I don't want to follow you. I want to go towards this awesome light.
Yeah. I mean, it looks great. Okay. Then scene shift again. And we got the dreams with arrows. It seems like, again, I talked about this rule of 3. It's almost like there's this rule of 3 where dreams will set up a premise, introduce a conflict, and then a resolution. And so it's like, okay, the premise is vulnerability, being your authentic self. The conflict is I'm following the lead of others rather than forging my own path to my light, hope, and rainbows. And then the solution is, well, it seems like there's this God, right? Or this figure, which I think is a version of your higher self. Like they're floating off the ground, right? So we've lifted off the ground. We're experiencing our higher self. Like this is almost a version of you that is the ultimate self-actualized vision of who you can be. And the gift that thing is giving you is there is direction through the dreams because they're shooting these dreams into you. And it's like, if you continue to follow your dreams, you'll be able to resolve this conflict based on this premise. And so it seems to make this like beautiful story arc loop to this conclusion of like, follow your dreams, trust your dreams because they know a lot more than you do. Does that feel accurate to you? Because that's what it seems to scream to me.
This is why we must keep bringing dream work to people, because like I get so much from this type of like just that blurb of, that little dream of my life. Like I go into my day and I'm like, well, this is how I'm going to now be and the action I'm going to take. And just like it, every day you just like shift. Yeah, that totally tracked. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Okay. I'm glad it's resonated with you. Okay. Then we got second dream. Very short.
Okay. So in the dream, I look down at my hands. So like currently I have like fake nails, like these gel long nails.
Yeah.
I look down at my hands, and in a dream, there's only like 3 of these nails still on, and the rest of my nails are like my natural nail, no nail polish. They're just like short, natural nails. And that's it.
Which fingers were they? That could be important, actually.
I feel like I was like looking at my left hand more,
Okay.
and like my pinky and ring finger were natural, and like maybe my middle finger. I don't know. I don't know for sure.
That's
I don't know for
okay.
sure.
If you don't know for sure, then it may not have been important. That's okay. But I wanted to ask in
Okay.
case it was, because different fingers can have different meanings too. Left hand, so more feminine energy, more emotional energy, because that's the left side of your body. Um, how did you feel about this? Before I go jump into conclusions, I want to be very careful and respectful of the dream. What emotion?
Um, I don't know that I had emotion. It was just observation, but then I did have a thought.
Yes, thoughts.
Thoughts are allowed? Okay.
Yeah.
My thought was like, because I've been like having fake nails for so long. I don't know. My thought was that the fake nails are showing like it's inauthentic, and then quite a bit of me is I've removed the inauthenticity, and I have stepped into my true nature, my authenticity. But there's like still a few remaining like pieces of this fakeness, because I've been doing the work to like allow myself to be comfortable being myself, like so many people do this work, right? I'm not the
Yeah.
only one.
Yeah. I mean, we're all trying to be our authentic selves. Well, so I think you said what I was going to say, which is long nails, at least with my sensitivity issues. I'm very sensitive to my hands. Like I got to go preview Epic Universe in Orlando here on Monday, and as we were walking around the park, it was incredible. By the way, I'm just like fangirling over the whole thing. It was awesome. But as we're going through the park, we had some lunch, and I had a soda with lunch, and so I got some sticky on my fingers, and that drives me crazy. Sticky fingers is like, oh my gosh, I can't exist with sticky fingers. And so I say that to illustrate a point of long nails. I tried to grow out my nails a little bit, and it was just so sensitive. Like it was just such an inconvenience. I couldn't type. We even talked about that before the show started, like how difficult it is to type with the nails, and how it limits your ability. But they're pretty, which I think is such a great metaphor for the way that we will do things that are aesthetically pleasing and attractive to others based on cultural norms, but they're not very practical for ourselves, right? So there's this, well, it's only half your hand, right? It has authentic nails, and the other half has these fake nails on. And so it's like I'm trying to find this balance between authenticity and then being visually or aesthetically or emotionally pleasing to others in my environment. And I think that's what you're hitting on. So because that already makes sense to you, I want to take it a little bit deeper and say your dream was very intentional about showing only half your hand that way. I wonder if perhaps in this moment of being so motivated and fueled to be authentic, if your dream isn't asking you, hey, before we go swinging to the extreme of being totally authentic, is there a moment of pause to say, perhaps I would like to keep some of this persona that I put on that has gotten me so much success in my life, right? That has allowed me to overcome different obstacles. Does that kind of make sense? Am I explaining that okay?
Well, it made sense.
It's a deep
I
question.
think I'm very, it is. I think I'm very much committed to releasing things that are not me. People pleasing, like just basic things. And so I'm like full speed ahead in releasing anything that is not going to bring me the most joy, basically.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's like you pointed out the left side, I lived my life pretty in the masculine energy more, because it would just be like, work self to death, and then you're successful, and then you're enough.
Yeah.
So I was really moving out of the masculine energy. So I feel like it's like, yeah, finding the balance in the divine feminine energy.
That's beautiful. I guess the humble suggestion, or the advice that I might suggest you to think about is, just because you're wearing long nails because they're attractive, if that's the reason, because to me it just doesn't seem practical at all. Like, I don't the long nails drive me nuts. Just because you're doing something to be pleasing to those around you and put on, maybe not fully a mask, but at least, sort of manicuring, intentional play on words, or putting your best face forward, that doesn't mean you're necessarily being inauthentic. For example, if I'm going to go to an interview, it might be much more comfortable for me to wear sweatpants and a t-shirt. But I don't want to show up to that interview wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt because I want to put my best face forward. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm being inauthentic. I can choose the tie, I can choose the blazer, I can choose what shoes that I wear, I can present myself and speak in a way that is true to me. And so it is this balance, like back to the whole anal phase of psychosexual development, right? Just because I hold my poo to go in the potty does not mean that I'm being inauthentic. I'm just showing myself in a way that is strategic. And that strategy can actually be very authentic and even increase the authenticity of who you are. So I wonder if your brain is trying to give you a little bit of like, hey, don't forget that feminine energy is actually like really beautiful in the way that it's able to navigate and flow. And, I'm going to say manipulate, but I think a lot of people think of that as like a negative term, but I mean it in the most positive way. Like, feminine energy is able to manipulate its environment to create the best possible outcome when it's in its most right frame. How does that sit with you?
I'm really tracking what you're saying, and I love that. And I do think it kind of pulls in the first dream as well, like and I kind of was thinking about that, but I'm like, I see the connection to the first dream. And no, I love that. And I've had other dreams that hint at that. So I'm gonna just plant that seed. Yeah.
Yeah. Your mind is showing you something. Okay, we're down to the last like 5 minutes that I've got left for recording, but I know there's a third piece. It's a little long. Are you okay if we like blitz through it?
Yeah. Okay, I'll go fast.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm driving. I'm kind of falling asleep. There's some female Asian college students that are crossing the street.
Okay.
It seems like I should wait to let them cross. There are pedestrians everywhere, but I'm so relaxed. I'm falling asleep and I end up hitting one of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel the clunk of my car go over the body.
Oh God.
I'm waiting to the side of the road while others respond to the person I ran over. I'm with a couple friends. I say, oh my gosh, did I really hit someone or am I in a dream? I say, I really hope I'm in a dream. Then I kind of laugh and I say to my friend, well, either way, I'm in a dream.
Were you lucid at that point? Like, are you a lucid dreamer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this was like, you were aware it was a dream in a dream. Interesting. Okay.
Well, I think it was either that or even right now, I think that this is like a dream. Like we wake up into it and we're like living this life. A type of dream state.
Yeah.
So
a lot
in
of
the
people
dream,
would agree.
I think I was just speaking my truth.
Nice. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I'll let you continue.
And I say to the friends, how should I wait to find out? Because I'm waiting to find out if I like killed this Asian student.
Oof. Okay.
They say to lay down in shavasana.
Yoga, right? Do you do?
Yeah. So that's the pose where at the end of class you literally just lay there in silence for like 10 minutes.
That sounds glorious. I have a 2-year-old at home.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of laying in silence at my house.
No, ask your 2-year-old to try out shavasana.
I'm going to. Yes.
So I see the Asian girl get off the ground. I'm like, oh no, her leg looks bent in half, but then she walks off with her friends with only the tiniest limp. And I realize my car is gone.
Oh.
I don't think she knows it is me that hit her, and they just leave the scene. I was going to go talk to her, but I decided not to because they are content and they're leaving. Then I'm with Britney Spears and a couple other friends.
Nice.
She's being, I know, right? Surprise. She's being really nice. She's kind of holding my hand. I am making sure I'm in the most comfortable position possible. I say to Brittany, I'm clearly prioritizing my own comfort over others. She says, yes, I can tell. And she laughs.
Wow.
I say I was falling asleep when I was driving, so instead of not running people over, I prioritized my need to relax because I was really tired. So I was very focused on myself.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give a very, very cohesive or truncated interpretation for this and see how it lands with you, because we're coming to a close. It feels to me the main thrust of the dream is sometimes when you're prioritizing your own comfort and your authenticity, it's going to affect others. It absolutely will. But that's also okay. You can lay down in peace and be like, yes, me living my life and taking control of my life does not mean that my car gets taken away, that my control over my life gets taken away. I'm going to make mistakes and it's going to affect other people. That's also okay. And you see this symbol, Britney Spears, like what a amazing, like powerful feminine icon, who is a celebrity, which is an indication of value and worth, spending time with you, saying, yeah, I can see you're prioritizing your own comfort. And she laughs. It's like, it's okay. Is what it feels like to me. How does that sit with you though?
Yeah, totally. And I think it's like the Asian students, I was like, why is everyone Asian in this room? It's like, represent just like the stereotype of being like really, like maybe not acting from your heart, but like focusing on like this 3D world and being successful and I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, like
No,
achievement, focus on doing instead of like being.
Yeah.
And so like my journey of coming back to myself and like realizing I can just be, and ultimately I need to take care of myself, not because I used to take care of everybody else. So it's really like and then at the end, Britney Spears being like, yeah, like you're okay, be cozy, good
It's
job.
all right, girlfriend. That's amazing. Celia, thank you so much for being vulnerable, being authentic, being yourself, and like sharing these dreams. I mean, dreams are so precious and so raw and so real. And so I appreciate your authenticity and vulnerability for sharing these dreams so other people can see the value that they bring into their life. And I hope that it encourages them to prioritize and value their subconscious and experience the same benefits that you've experienced by doing that as well. So thank you again. Any last words before we sign off?
Yes, thank you, Jesse. You are amazing, and this was so perfect. And anyone looking to work for you, looking to look more into their dreams, like to work with you, I think you are fantastic.
That's so great. That's so great. Well, thank you everyone for tuning into this episode of the show. Thank you again to Celia. We'll see you all in the next one. If you want to be on the show, the link will be in the description below. Submit an application just like Celia did. We'll get you interviewed. We'll get a document of your dream, and we'll get you some answers that your mind has desperately been trying to share with you. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Celia, that was great. That was great. Thank you so much.
It was? Okay, good.
Yeah, fantastic. You crushed it. You crushed it. Give us like a week or two to edit it up and get it posted over on YouTube. And if you got like maybe your website or any like a little description about yourself that you want us to use, like send that in a reply to the email thread that we've already been using back and forth, and I'll get those in the description. But this is fantastic. I couldn't ask for anything better. Thanks.
Okay. Awesome. Nice
Cool.
to meet you, Jesse.
Great to meet you too. We'll keep in touch. All right. Take care.
Heck yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.